Dried Ghast. The Dried Ghast is a new type of block added to the Nether in the Chase the Skies update. Found in the Soul Sand Valley biome between fossils, the Dried Ghast has a ghostly face and an eerie presence. It can also be crafted using 1 soul sand and 8 ghast tears, or bartered for with piglins, making it a rare but renewable resource. When placed in water, the Dried Ghast reacts, changing appearance across 3 stages. With each stage, its face shifts expression until it transforms into a Ghastling, a passive baby mob. This makes the block both decorative and functional, connecting directly to the new mob-raising mechanic. Ghastling. The Ghastling, the first new mob in the update, appears once you leave the Dried Ghast block submerged in water for 20 minutes. The Ghastling is a small passive mob that, unlike its nether cousin, the Ghast, will not shoot fireballs at you and instead just hover around with a chance to follow the player or other mobs within a 16-block radius. But most of the time, he just floats around ignoring everything. Maybe he's shy. However, the Ghastling will only stay in this state for another 20 minutes before transforming into a much larger and friendlier version of the Nether Ghast named the Happy Ghast. Though if 20 minutes is too long for you, you can feed this guy snowballs to grow up faster. Happy Ghast. The Happy Ghast is a completely passive mob that acts similarly to the Ghastling, as it will slowly float around the world, minding its own business. The Happy Ghast will react if you're holding a snowball and begin to follow the player, probably hoping for a snack. You can also stand on top of the Happy Ghast, similar to a shulker. The Happy Ghast is also different from normal Ghasts as it can be tamed. If you use the newly added harness item, you can equip it to a Happy Ghast, not only giving it a dope harness, but also cute goggles it wears above its eyes. Yeah, this guy has drip. But where the real fun begins is that you can actually ride the Happy Ghast traveling both horizontally and vertically. And it gets even more ridiculous. Up to 4 players can ride a single Happy Ghast at once. It's basically the Nether's version of a party bus. Now, if for some reason you decide to kill a Happy Ghast, first of all, how dare you? But if you do, and you manage to redirect one of its fireballs, wait, just kidding, it's passive, it doesn't even have fireballs. You monster! Just walk away and think about what you've done. For your troubles, you will get a few XP orbs and normal Ghast loot. Yeah, I hope it was worth it. It can also drop a harness if it had one equipped, but seriously killing one you even tamed? The Happy Ghast can be very helpful when exploring the world, but can also be used as a very convenient method of building in high to reach places, or even mining, since you can stand on it like a solid block, and it will stay completely still. And as if that wasn't enough, the Happy Ghast is also a super convenient way to transport mobs, as you can attach a lead to it and another mob, giving you the ability to move these mobs around in the air from point A to point B. The Happy Ghast can also be attached to a boat with a lead. You can use this to transport multiple entities at once, including players, which means with a boat you can travel with up to 6 players on one Happy Ghast. Harness. The harness is the new craftable item needed to ride the Happy Ghast mob. The harness can be crafted using 3 leathers, 2 glass blocks, and a matching wool color, and comes in 16 color variants, giving you some variation when it comes to your harnesses. Once crafted, you can place it onto a Happy Ghast, and you, along with up to 3 of your buddies, can now ride the Ghast. Hooray! Lead changes. Leads in Minecraft have undergone some serious updates. Firstly, the crafting recipe has been updated to be easier for players to access, costing only 5 string instead of the old 4 string and 1 slime ball, which could be hard to find. The other major change is how the leads themselves work. Before the Chase the Skies update, leads could only be attached from the player to other entities, but after this update, leads can be used to attach any qualifying mob to any other qualifying mob. So if for some reason you want 2 cows to be attached to each other for all of eternity, you can do that. But in all seriousness, this feature is actually pretty useful. For starters, it allows for the Happy Ghast to attach to other mobs and carry them around. But you can also use this to lead mobs around in a much more orderly fashion. You can even attach boats to other boats with the new lead, which can be used to just ferry around a bunch of mobs, or even to carry a bunch of chest boats. Combined with the Happy Ghast, you can do some pretty crazy things, like having a Happy Ghast attached to a boat carrying players, attached to a pig, attached to a cow, and so on. Yeah, this is a pretty fun change. Honest standing applause, notch standing applause. Happy Ghast Spawn Egg. The Happy Ghast Spawn Egg is a creative-only item that lets you summon a Happy Ghast instantly, just like most mob eggs in the game. While survival players will have to go through the whole Dried Ghast to Ghastling evolution process, creative mode users can just say, nah, and poof, they now have this cute airborne buddy. Music Disc Tears. Shears is a new music disc joining the other 19 already in the game. This one is obtained by hitting a Ghast's fireball back at it. Yeah, they still encourage it even after giving us a cute pet Ghast. Anyway, this track is mostly white with some blue in the middle and runs for 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Oh, and to be honest, it's an actual banger. Definitely worth picking up. Just maybe don't tell your Happy Ghast about how you got it. Music disc Lava Chicken. Lava Chicken is yet another music disc added in the update. Yeah, we get two this time. And yes, it's referring to that Lava Chicken song, and yes, it sounds like it, and yes, this disc is probably going to be played on repeat to annoy people. To get this disc, you have to kill a chicken jockey. Yeah, Notch isn't being subtle about anything here, though it does seem a bit too simple to obtain, in my opinion. The song itself is fine, it's basically just Jack Black's song without the words, so if that's your jam, then you'll probably like it. Painting Dennis. Dennis is a new painting added to Minecraft, and it's honestly one of the best, showcasing a beautiful portrait of our best buddy, the Minecraft dog. Yeah, this one is super cool and probably top 5 paintings in the game in my opinion. However, the painting as of right now is a Bedrock exclusive. Yeah, Minecraft version wars anyway. I don't really understand why Mojang decided to not give Java this one given it's just a painting. I doubt it would have been that hard and I hope to see them fix this error. Locator Bar. The location bar is a multiplayer only feature added to the game. This feature is kind of odd in my opinion, but some players will probably end up liking it. Basically, when playing on a multiplayer world, and if you're near another player, it will replace your XP bar with a green dot that will track players. The size of this dot will grow or shrink depending on how close the other player is. This isn't a bad addition per se, but it certainly feels more worthless than not. Personally, if I'm playing multiplayer, I would just ask where my friends are not rely on a dot, and to be honest, I think the green little dot is a bit weird looking, plus it removes the XP tracker bar which I would like to have access to at all times. But overall, it's probably a net positive addition. Surely some players will find it very useful, and for players like me, it is possible to turn it off if you're the server owner, so it's not that big of a deal. Show Music Toast Setting. The new Minecraft Music Toast setting is a welcome addition. Now, whenever a new background track starts playing, a little message, or toast, appears in the top left corner of the screen showing the name of the song. It's a small change, but for music lovers or anyone curious about what they're hearing, it's a nice bit of polish. You can toggle it on or off in the settings, and it even shows up if the music starts while the game is paused. It won't change how you play, but it's great for those moments when a track hits just right and you want to remember the name. I personally really like this addition and think this is something that we didn't know we needed until we got it type of thing, and I am all for it. Craftable Saddle. Saddles have been in Minecraft since 2010. Yeah, that's right, over a decade. And up until now, you could only find them in dungeon chests, desert temple chests, or stronghold chests. But this finally has all been changed in the latest update, adding craftable saddles. Finally! Just simply put 3 leather and 1 iron ingot in a crafting table, and you have your very own saddle. Yes, this has been a long-awaited feature, and the almighty Notch has finally blessed us with it. I can't believe this is finally possible. Let's go. However, you can no longer find the saddles in the previously mentioned locations. Now you have to craft them. Leather Chest Loot. Leather chest loot basically just means they replaced potential saddle loot from chests with leather. It's a fine change now that saddles are craftable, and honestly, probably more useful in the long run. Leather is used in a bunch of important recipes like books, bookshelves, and item frames, so getting a few extra pieces while exploring is actually kind of nice. Shears Update. Shears have gotten some changes in the new update. Basically now you can use them to remove saddles, horse armor, harnesses, and carpets, which might seem pretty useless at first when you consider you can just take them off by going into the mob's inventory. However, not all mobs have inventories now, such as the Happy Ghasts, making it a useful addition, as it's the only way to retrieve the harness, or if you want to get a saddle back from a strider, you can do that now too. You can also use shears to break leads between mobs, which is especially helpful with the new mob-to-mob lead system. Let's say you've got a Happy Ghast tethered to a boat, that's tied to a pig, that's tied to a cow. Yeah, you've gone too far. Well, instead of trying to click and untangle all that chaos, just whip out the shears and snip any connection cleanly. This also works if the mob is tied to a fence. Using shears now instantly removes the lead and places it back into your inventory, without snapping or flinging it into the void like your hopes and dreams. It's way more convenient than punching the fence or chasing leads around. And finally, dispensers can now use shears to break leads automatically, meaning redstone nerds are already working on some weird lead-snipping mob machine as we speak. Carrot tames horses, sort of. Carrots can now, alongside other food items, be used to assist in taming horses, donkeys, and mules. For taming, it's not all that helpful as you still have to hop on a horse and wait for the love hearts, but it does speed up the process apparently. Also, now you've got another snack option if you actually feel like feeding your pets. Feeding carrots heals about 1.5 hearts, putting them on par with apples. It's a nice option, especially early game when golden carrots are still a luxury item, so while it's not the biggest feature change, it's decent enough to be welcome. Splash Potion Balance. Splash potions have been adjusted in the Chase the Skies update, but calling it a balance change might be generous. The update tweaks how effect durations are calculated based on where the potion hits an entity. Before, even if you nailed a mob right in the face, the game would still measure the splash from the center of their hitbox, meaning you'd often get less than the full effect. Now, it uses the edge of the hitbox, so a direct hit actually means a full effect. Yeah, that's it. The whole change. It might help mob farms squeeze a little more out of each potion, but honestly, it's the kind of update that most players won't even notice unless someone points it out. But hey, maybe your lingering potions just linger a tiny bit longer now. Woo!